We are getting word this evening of some have been killed by youths in south central Los Angeles, perhaps in reaction to today's verdicts for the Rodney King beating.
Stores were torched and looted.
Mayor Tom Bradley imposed a curfew at dusk, and National Guard troops and the California Highway Patrol were put on alert. There have been demonstrations in Los Angeles and other cities, including Atlanta. On News Sport 5, we'll have a reaction from President Bush, and we'll have live reactions.
In 1992, Los Angeles was victim of one of the most destructive riots in the whole U.S. For 6 whole days, Los Angeles was filled with violence, anger, and racism. This happened due to many different reasons, such as people in bad areas being profiled, the Rodney King beating, and violent protests. One of the reasons the riots happened was because many people in more unfortunate areas, especially African American and Latino American communities, struggled with poverty, discrimination, and violence on a daily basis. Also, the police were often accused of being unjustly and exerting their power. The Los Angeles Police Department reputation was already bad due to many people believing that they were being treated unfairly because of their skin color or heritage. On March 3rd, 1991, there was clear footage of a man named Rodney King being beaten by 4 white police officers after a car chase. A nearby man filmed it, and the video shook the country. People were not happy with the court's decision after all 4 police officers were acquitted of all charges on April 29, 1992.
It was one of the most publicized trials in U.S. history. Many believed that the videotape was more than enough evidence to convict the 4 Los Angeles police officers, but the all-white jury saw it another way.
We would like to say that this experience has been an extremely difficult and stressful one which we have all agonized over a great deal.
Almost everyone has heard about or seen the videotape beating of California motorist Rodney King. Chattanoogan Marilyn Ashford was shocked by the verdict.
It's just unnecessary beating. To me, it was just unnecessary. And I'm surprised they let him go. Oh, I am surprised.
Chris Hunt was also surprised, but he says he trusts the jury.
If the jury found them not guilty, I think they know more than what I know. Based on what I saw, they appeared to be guilty, but apparently the jury found out something more.
Charles Cox wonders why Rodney King didn't take the stand in the trial.
If they'd have put King on the stand and he'd have told his side of it, I might have changed my mind. But I had a feeling that if he didn't take the stand to tell what he was doing and what he had done and what his record was, just being out of prison a few days, that there was something more to it than what we seen on that tape.
But some folks say the acquittal makes police think they are above the law.
When they do something, it seems like it's okay, with the law. As long as they got on their blue uniform, it's okay.
City Councilman Yusef Hakeem worries that the decision will drive yet another wedge between the police and the black community.
And if we're to move forward together as a community, as a nation, we have to do those things that bring about fairness and justice, and I do not believe this decision is one that brings us together.
Kimberly Blake, News Center 12.
The riots began at the corner of Florence and Normandy in south central Los Angeles, California. The riots started off as friendly protests, but all the anger and frustration from the protesters led to the riots turning violent. People were angry, and they started off by looting stores. Then they started setting buildings on fire, and finally people began clashing with police officers. It was not just government buildings that got damaged. Another group of people who were victimized by the riots were the Korean Americans. With little to no help from police officers, Korean Americans had to protect their businesses, families, and lives by themselves. The riots caused even deeper tensions between the Korean Americans and the African Americans.
There was a man out here who says we're all trained to shoot. Why? What's the feeling?
Well, see, we have no hatred towards black people. We have nothing against anybody. All we wanted to do is work hard and make it like the rest of us, and we know. But people are driving by, shooting at us, and we have to do something about it. We have no police support whatsoever. National Guard, I've heard about it from early this morning. We don't see any of that support coming out. We have a lot of shotguns in here and some handguns, but we have to use them because we have to defend our lives, we have to defend our property, You know, people out there watching, you know, please just don't sit there and enjoy this great exhibition.
It's not entertainment, you know. It's not a Hollywood action shot.
No,
this is the actual life that we're talking. We got shot in what? Windows, car windows, fly-by bullets come out. They're shooting at us. We may be shooting at up there, but they're shooting at us. So far, we've been shooting up. But when it comes to worse, we're not gonna sit around shooting upside. We're gonna shoot at them. That's how close we got to right now.
After 2 days of chaos, the government had finally intervened with the rioters. They had set a curfew from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m., which was initially applied to South Central Los Angeles. Then it was later expanded citywide into other parts of Los Angeles County.
Our first look at it, and Captain Ron, you said it was there, you were showing it to us. Can you talk to us about it a little bit? Clearly these are the armored units.
We're out here just on Figueroa, just south of the Coliseum, and you can see one of the first National Guard units that's being deployed. It appears that they're at a command post or a minor command post of the police department here, probably awaiting their deployment orders. And you can see some of the National Guard troops that are standing around that armored vehicle at this time.
So the long-awaited deployment of the National Guard in Southern California is now coming into place.
The riot's effects lasted even after all the fires got put out and all the rubble had been cleared. Many small family-owned businesses were left in a wreck. Economically, entire neighborhoods were left in ruins. Many of those business owners never fully recovered, which also caused them to lose their main source of income. For some, the riots brought change. In order to guarantee a shift in leadership and the way authorities were held accountable, the following years saw calls for police reform and put LAPD under national attention. However, there were still significant racial differences. After those 6 days of chaos, many Korean Americans and African American groups were unable to mend relationships with each other. Los Angeles made efforts to rebuild over time, both socially and physically. Efforts for improvements in law enforcement, cultural outreach, and community activities were all designed to stop history from happening again. A sad and devastating chapter in history. The 1992 Los Angeles riots forced the city and the country to face harsh realities about inequality, justice, and race. The effect of those 6 days are still felt even after decades have gone by. The question remains, what have we learned?